Welcome back to another episode of the Neurodivergent Struggles podcast/show. I'm not sure if it's a podcast or a show. Either way, we're here again. I'm here with the lovely Emily, and we're talking about self-sabotage.
Oh, yeah.
So, self-sabotage. When I mention that word, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The first word that comes to my mind?
Right? Or the thoughts that you have?
On self-sabotage, I mean, I can relate to self-sabotaging. I feel like things start going really, really good for me, and I'm like, this is a little too good. Like, what can I do to just derail my life? You know, not that extreme. I don't go around derailing my life, but you know, it's little things that can be self-sabotaging. You know, not getting up right on time, being late to work. Those little things can actually be you self-sabotaging. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be as big as everybody thinks. It's not like, okay, yeah, I just won a Grammy and now I'm just gonna like do something totally crazy and ruin my career. It doesn't have to be as big as that. Self-sabotaging can be like little tiny things that you're not even noticing throughout the day. For sure.
Yeah. When I think of self-sabotage, I think of all the small things, like you said, the small things that we do that we don't know would be considered self-harm, but they are. For myself, I think of impulsive spending, going against what my budget says.
Ooh, yeah.
I think of hanging in bed too long when I should be up and at the gym and doing what I need to do to start the day. Think of hanging out with the wrong people. And sometimes when you know that you're not supposed to be with a certain person or certain people, you'll keep getting hurt over and over. And then you'll be reminded of why you told yourself you were going to leave them alone.
Yeah.
And also I think of substance use is definitely one of the ways that I have self-sabotaged before in the past.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I think, especially as neurodivergents, we self-sabotage is because we're afraid of things working out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. I think we're just afraid of things going too well and being good for us. Maybe it's partially because we think that we like don't deserve it, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. But yeah, when you said about substance use, and we talked about this in the last episode.
Right.
But as neurodivergents, using certain substances can make us feel normal. And so you know, you can get sucked into that, and then the next thing you know, you're like, I don't really feel like doing my auditions today. I don't really feel like going to work today or putting, you know, all of my effort in because I went out 4 nights this week just to kind of feel like a normal person. That's absolutely self-sabotaging.
Yeah,
absolutely
it is. And one thing that I've been thinking about a lot is nervous system regulation and making sure that we can not fix, but at least regulate our nervous system as best as we can before we make major decisions.
Yeah.
Like I've said it before, if you're neurodivergent, regulate your nervous system before you make a big decision. Who you're going to date/marry, where you're going to live, what you're going to do for work. These are big decisions. And when we're not regulated, we can make the wrong decision. We could self-sabotage. And I feel like a lot of times our nervous system isn't prepared for what we want.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So you're an actor and you have all these ambitions and you're here in Los Angeles. You're in the right place. So now you're just waiting on the right time, right situation.
Right.
And as we know, in this city, your life can change overnight.
Absolutely.
Are you ready? I guess I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Is your nervous system ready for Margot Robbie style success?
I mean, I feel like I really thrive working a lot and having a set schedule and making sure that I stick to my regimen and get up and walk my dog and then do my auditions and make sure that I'm on set enough days out of the month and like doing the auditions get me on set, you know? So I really thrive. Like if somebody said, hey, Emily, we have to go shoot a movie for 4 months, I'm going to say, yes, thank you. Like this is what, I want to work 6 days a week, I just,
Yeah,
I
I believe that
thrive
about
because
you.
I just want to keep, once I do it, I want to keep doing it, doing it. The times that I feel like I get myself in trouble are when I'm not working. Is when I'm in that, kind of rut of, oh my God, I've done 20 auditions this week and nobody's biting. These casting directors aren't getting back to me. And then you start to kind of go down that rabbit hole of like self-worth, and you're like, is this what I should be doing? And then that's when you're like, well, I don't know. I need a release. I need to go out with my friends. I need to go have a couple of drinks. And that's, looping it back into that self-sabotage. If you just put your head down and you just keep working and yes, you can kind of feel sorry for yourself and say, what am I not doing right? Like, why haven't I succeeded yet on a larger scale? If you just put your head down and you say, okay, maybe I need to take more classes. Maybe I need to change my self-tape setup. Maybe I need to change my hair color. As you guys can see, we're working on it. This will be changed in a couple of days. But maybe I need to adjust a couple of things instead of saying, oh, well, I just need a release. I need to go do something just to like shock myself into feeling something. Most of the time you're going to succeed more so if you just put your head down and continue, or change little things and see if that works. It's like trial and error. Not saying that you shouldn't take breaks. Of course you should take breaks. Everybody needs a mental break and a physical break.
Every now and then. Yeah,
I know two people who love working very much, and you are one of them. And my boyfriend is the other person.
Yeah, I love working. I love
you
working.
both, you could just work and work, and you're both constantly traveling.
Yeah,
you're in new places, and I'm sure you're both just exhausted.
I am, but I can't. Well, I mean, I could stop, but when I'm not working, then I start to question my self-worth, or all the negative thoughts come when I'm not working. So I keep myself busy. So I can't speak for your boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I met him. He's a cool guy. And that day that I met him, I had to work, so I couldn't talk longer.
I know. You
but
bounce,
speaking for myself, I have a lot of inner demons, which is why I work all the time, because I just want to work, and I don't want to sit there and be with my own thoughts. So if I'm busy, then I'm happy because I'm working. I'm making skits. I'm writing ideas. I'm on the go. And for me, self-sabotage happens when I'm bored.
Yes.
Whenever I'm bored and I don't feel connected to my purpose, that's when I think to myself, oh, let me see what old girl's doing. Like, like, does she still follow me on Instagram? Or I'll do this thing where I scroll Instagram and I look at who's watching my IG story, and I'm like, how many of these girls have I been with? Oh, okay. I'm like, and I started to count. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's not good. And then I'm like, what's she up to? And I click her profile and see, oh, does she have a boyfriend? Like, she's still, okay, she's in Studio City. She's in Van Nuys. Oh, she's nearby. And then I'm like, you send a text, like, what are you doing tonight? And you just go on this whole.
The you up text.
Right. And you send you up text, sometimes they reply. And for me, I've felt bad when I've done that sort of thing. And now I'm talking to somebody for 3-4 months, and at some point it's going to drop off because I'm going to go back to my purpose, and I'm going to be busy once again. I got to save the world and promote mental health awareness. But I'm starting to realize that it's a loop of me feeling disconnected with my purpose, and then me starting to self-sabotage.
Yeah.
So I've been more mindful of that. And another thing, going back to what I asked you earlier, when I asked if you were ready for Margot Robbie amounts of success, is I've learned that fame is something else, because if you could take the money and leave the fame, you should always do it.
Oh yeah,
always. And
for sure,
we all want to be recognized for our talents, and you win award shows from Golden Globes to the Oscars to the Grammys, but if you can take the money and leave the fame, you got to do it, because what happens is you start to try and outdo yourself. Like, I came to LA in 2021, then I had a segment with ABC7 LA, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Then I finally crossed 1 million followers on TikTok, And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Now I finally crossed 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Then I'm like, oh my goodness, what's next? What's next? What's next? Then I get a book deal. Oh my goodness. Then I get to go to New York and I'm on the Today Show. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Then I get to work with the Academy. And then I'm at the 95th Oscars. And it just keeps getting higher and higher and higher and higher. But my nervous system was never really ready for all of that. So whenever I would go too long without a big accomplishment, that's when the substance use would start right back again. And then I'd catch myself in negative relationship like cycles because I wasn't really ready for the success.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to just be okay with nothing big coming in. So when you talk about fame or attention, especially those of us who are neurodivergent and we kind of crave attention.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking you if you've ever thought about it, because you like to work.
Yeah.
But when they shine that light on you, oh my goodness, it's.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I mean, why do you think I'm an actor? Like, you know, I think there's a part of every performer, every artist that wants the attention. I mean, you can say over and over again, oh no, I do it for the art. I do it for the, you know, the love of the art. And that's totally true. I act because I love giving people an escape. I love being able to create something and put it on a stage or put it on a screen. I absolutely love that. But you would be lying to yourself if you didn't love watching yourself. Like, you know, if you didn't love seeing yourself on camera, if you didn't love the attention that it gave you. And you know, it's not bad to be a little narcissistic maybe and be like, wow, I look good.
We all have those traits and tendencies.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think diving into, like, you know, like you said earlier, your life can change overnight, and then just like all of a sudden being this like huge deal. And I don't know if anybody's really ready for that. You can say again, say over and over again, no, yeah, totally, I would thrive, you know, if somebody said let's go shoot a movie for 4 months. But are you really prepared to go shoot a movie in another country for 4 months by yourself? Like, you don't think about all of those other things either.
If you are a comedy lover and you want to see me come and do stand-up, I'll be in Houston, April the 26th at 8 o'clock p.m. at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club. And if you're in Nashville, I'll be in Nashville on May the 31st at Zany's. And I'm from Nashville, so it's going to be a homecoming show. I'd love to see you all there.
To go back to kind of what we were talking about earlier, I have a question for you, actually. Sure. So, do you think if you let yourself, you know, give in to those desires, you know, smoking weed or talking to women or whatever it is, if you let yourself do that every once in a while you're still kind of pushing towards your dream, do you think that you would go in this like vicious cycle of like, okay, I'm really locked in with my career, but now I'm, you know, substance use and girls and women and talking to that, and then you're like, okay, no, I gotta lock back in. Do you think if you just like microdose those desires, do you think that it wouldn't be such a big deal? And that's something that I'm you know, working on as well, is my relationship with alcohol. Addiction runs in my family. And I'm neurodivergent, and alcohol, 2 drinks makes me feel like a normal person. And then you keep chasing that feeling. You're like, oh, and then I've had 6 drinks, because you're like, wow, I like how I feel like a normal person. Can I get it a little better? Can I get a little better? And then the next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, I've been drinking all night. It's obviously not healthy. But, you know, allowing myself, instead of setting like, okay, well, you're only allowed to have this many drinks, allowing myself to say, okay, you know, I really want a glass of wine tonight. That's fine. That's totally okay. Maybe that's going to make it so that I don't want to, like, scratching that itch at that moment that I actually want it is going to make me not want to have 5 drinks this weekend when I go out with my friends. Yeah. So do you think that's, you know, something that would work for you? Have you tried that?
I've tried that before, and I'd say that it was fairly successful. The tricky thing about and I'll call them vices. The tricky thing about vices when you're neurodivergent, or at least just speaking for myself, is that they can consume you and you haven't even realized that you've gone way deep into it.
Totally.
Because I could do that where I have so much free time throughout the day. So I'll work to get all my stuff done within 6-7 hours, wake up at 7, hit the gym by 8, back by 9. I'm done with everything by 4. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get high the rest of the day, starting at 5 o'clock. But then the next week, it starts a little earlier. Yeah. The next week, it starts a little earlier. But the crazy thing is that I'm still as productive. I find ways to get my main stuff done.
Right.
And with women, you can say the same thing. I can date this girl and that girl, and then it gives you some excitement. And that's the thing about having ADHD and autism, which I believe I'm somewhere on the spectrum. You need routine, but then you also want some excitement. So the excitement is, I have this date later on. I'm going to go to this restaurant. And sometimes I don't go to nice places unless I'm with a girl, which I have to stop doing. Like I can take myself out. And eat good. Every now and then. But if it's just me, I'm like, I'll just go in and out. And just keep it simple. But to directly answer your question, I think that if you can, it's all about knowing yourself. If you can manage devices, then you want to go for the lesser of the evils. So for me, if you're talking about the lesser of the evils, I think it's video games.
Yes.
It's video games, because I know that with the weed, it gets very tricky, because I'll go into a binge where I realize I'm getting a little slower, but it hasn't affected the work. But then I realize now I'm craving it so bad.
Yeah.
And then also with women, I'd say that's the most dangerous of devices, because you can really get caught up in the situation, and then it pulls you down emotionally.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's the most difficult. Being way down emotionally.
Yeah.
And, I'm at the point where I miss dating before I was successful, because now it's like if I'm talking to somebody, they expect us to go all the way. Whereas back in the day, you can go on a couple of dates and, if we stop talking to each other, it's like, oh, whatever. But now it's like, if I don't see it all the way through, then it becomes this whole big deal of, oh, well, why didn't you tell me that you didn't want to talk to me? I'm like, I didn't know that. I had to talk to you to know that I didn't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So I default to video games, but then that can be a slippery slope too.
Oh, totally. Video game addiction is a real thing.
It is. It is. Yeah. You can be on the game for hours, days, and it can impact.
Self-sabotage 100%.
Yeah. Video games are one of the, I would say video games is a top 3 way that neurodivergent self-sabotage. Because if you like video games, you're addicted to progress.
I've never thought about it in that way.
Yeah. You're addicted to progress because you like making a little bit of progress over time. We beat this boss, we're on to the next one.
Yeah, that's why I like storyline video games and not so much like the open world roaming games. Right. I like storyline games because I'm like, wow, we just made a ton of progress. And this is why he's a doctor, And
I heard this on some podcast. So it's not an original thought of mine. So I don't want to say it's an original thought, but when I heard it, it made sense to me. If you like video games, you like progress. And that's why I'll play NCAA for hours, because I want to take a franchise. Well, not a franchise, but a school.
Yeah.
I'll start off at Alabama. Now I'll build myself up. Now I'll go to Kansas State and win 11 championships and revive the program. And then I go to Florida Atlantic University, FAU. Yeah. I go revive that program. Then I go to Arizona State, and I'm the new coach over there.
Yeah.
I'm bringing my recruits.
Yeah.
You're making progress. And if you don't watch out, you'll make progress in the game, but you won't make progress in real life. Because the game I could be on, as a kid, I could be on the game for 3-4 days in a row.
Yeah.
14 hours at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Only getting up to use the restroom and eat.
I could do that, absolutely, too.
You
when I was younger. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, playing Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts.
Any Kingdom Hearts fans out there?
Kingdom Hearts, that was a classic game. That was for the PlayStation only, I think.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
it was PlayStation only until the third one came out just a couple of years ago. It came out on Xbox.
Okay. So you really lived this.
I was in this. I
Okay,
was in
okay,
this.
respect.
But yeah, that was my game of choice when I was super young, playing on the PlayStation 2. And then we switched to Xbox, and then my game of choice became Call of Duty, of all things, in high school. And so
Uh,
again, hours and hours and hours and hours. Again, just getting up to use the bathroom and get something to eat. Yeah.
it will video games will grip you,
Yep.
and you'll forget about real life.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a roommate at one point who he what was his game? He was addicted to Grand Theft Auto. What they call it RP. Have you heard of that? It's Grand Theft Auto, but the
Yeah.
game has been rigged
Yeah.
for you to. It makes it more real.
Right. Okay.
So in the game, he was a drug lord who was making $20 million a month. Yeah, and he would go around giving people money. Like he was a big boss in the game.
Yeah.
But the bigger he got in the game, the less he would go out.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I don't want to say that he removed himself from society, but he would go out less and less and less. And I would do my best to try and get him out. I'd say, hey, we got this premiere. You don't come with me?
Yeah.
But he'd go every now and then, but he started to isolate more and more.
Yeah.
And also this was, along with him being high every day.
Yeah.
So he created a world for himself where
Yeah.
he is the boss, he's making progress, he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
But you forget about the real world,
Yeah.
the world that we actually live in.
Yeah.
So video games is not an innocent thing.
Yeah. I think that's interesting too, to touch on that you can self-sabotage with relaxing things. Things that
Yeah.
are thought of as, I'm winding down for the night. That's like smoking weed and playing video games and doing all of these things that might be a little isolating if you're doing them by yourself. You can absolutely self-sabotage doing that just as much as you can self-sabotage going out drinking alcohol and doing cocaine and doing all these things. It's the same thing. It's still
Yeah.
self-sabotage. It's just looked at in a different way. It's like if somebody tells you, oh yeah, what'd you do last night? Oh, I sat at home. I took an edible and I played some video games, or I took an edible and watched my favorite show. And sure, you can absolutely do that without it being self-sabotaging. I don't want to say like that it's always self-sabotaging, but if you're doing that and to isolate yourself, and then the next thing you know, that's what you're doing all day, every day, people I think are probably going to have a better reaction to that than they are, oh, what'd you do last night? Oh, I went out with my friends. I got drunk, stayed out till 7 o'clock in the morning because I was blowing cocaine all night.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, girl, you have a problem. But they're both self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
And that's something that's not talked about, I don't think, enough. It's like the things that like really sound gross, like, oh, yeah, what are you doing? You're going to ruin your life with that alcohol. But you can absolutely ruin your life staying in your house and not doing anything other than smoking weed and playing video games and being by yourself.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to what impedes your ability to regulate your emotions the most, because the self-sabotage comes from you not having the ability at that moment to regulate yourself. So you go for what feels good, and then you give up all the progress that you had just to feel good in that moment.
Yeah.
So I like slow mornings now, where I can just take my time and not be rushed. And I get to really figure out what I want to do. Do I want to do this? And I plan the night before. So I found different ways to kind of, hedge against the likelihood of self-sabotage, which can still happen, but I just want to make sure that I don't self-sabotage as much. I still feel like, as a neurodivergent, for me, every now and then I'll self-sabotage in small amounts.
Me too.
Like it's going to happen. So if it's going to happen, I'd rather be a gummy here and there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Or I go on a video game binge where, I win a couple of Super Bowls on Madden, or I win a couple of national championships on NCAA.
Right.
But the riskiest one I would say is definitely women. Yeah. So I've learned to just put that to the side.
Yeah. It's something that you feel like you can't do. You can't, like we said earlier, you can't microdose it yet because it's just something. It's like how people who are recovering alcoholics, like some people will get back to like being able to have a drink every once in a while,
right?
But you're not there yet, You go sober, but you can't go back to having alcohol because then it's just gonna,
With women, I mean, for guys, I don't know if you can eat microdose women. It sounds funny, but I don't know if you can.
A date every once in a while.
I mean, you could, but like the higher up you go, the stakes become higher, and you just become a bit more paranoid. And if you're not, then that's a concern because you should be wary
of the other person's emotions as well.
Of their emotions, but like I think about false allegations. Like I think about a whole lot of different things.
Got it. Oh yeah. So, okay, that's something I wasn't even
right.
Thinking
So
about.
As a man, that's it's something that I think about all the time. You go on a date with somebody, I always leave like a paper trail. Like I text them, "Did you get home safe?" Because you just never know.
Yeah.
You just never know. So that it does like a number on you mentally to have to keep up with all of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because who's gonna believe me?
Yeah.
They don't care if you're Dr. Kojo. It's just the world that we live in. And I know the Me Too movement had a good meaning initially. And for the most part, I still think it's a good thing because a lot of guys and girls have been bad and they've hurt other people. But I just have to look out for myself and just be aware of the optics of things.
Absolutely. I mean, I think for sure you have to think about those things. And on the other hand as well, I think if we're talking about that and how you can't microdose dating, maybe you can't microdose dating, and especially like that's your situation as a man to those are the things that you have to think about. It's like, if as a woman you decide to go out on a date, there's all these other things that you have to think about too. It's maybe not false allegations and all this stuff. Oh, is this going to ruin my career? Is somebody going to say this? It's like, safety. Am I going to make it home?
Yeah.
Who is this guy that I just met online? Mm-hmm. If I decide to go out to eat with this guy and we go back to his apartment, am I going to make it home that night? Like, we don't really know. So that it's absolutely true. It's on both sides that you really have to be intentional, I think.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can like microdose as like a vice.
I wish I could. I really wish I could. I really wish I could.
Yeah.
But I've had to learn that it's better to have an uneventful day, a day where you just went home and nothing exciting happened, than to have an exciting day that can have repercussions.
You're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want to look at some Facebook posts?
Let's hop straight into the questions. For time purposes.
All right.
Yeah, let's get one good question and see where we go.
All right, let's see.
I'll let you pick it.
Okay.
I'll let you pick it like Kenny. Remember your quarterback, Kenny Pickett?
We're not going to talk about that. This is not going to turn into a football podcast because we will be here for hours.
Right, we will.
Especially with the news of who the Steelers decided to be their head coach. So
yeah,
we're not going to talk.
Interesting call.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So some of these are really good.
And some are repetitive because people ask the same sort of thing.
Yeah, a lot of people online, it looks like they're looking kind of for a diagnosis over the internet, which is not possible. But I think sorry. I want a good one. Okay. This one's great.
Okay.
Hey, I know this is a long shot, but I came across your page and thought maybe I should reach out. My son is 18 months old and is being evaluated for autism. We aren't sure yet if he is, but it's leaning that way. I was wondering if you had any telltale signs or quirks that you saw in autism. Thanks either way, and keep up the good work. Your videos are super helpful.
That's a great question. It's
interesting to talk about autism in someone so young at 18 months old.
Well, the thing is, you can diagnose somebody with autism as young as 2 years old. Sometimes even at 18 months, you'll preemptively make the diagnosis because you see all the signs. What you're looking for is delay, like somebody who is not reaching their milestones compared to their peers. So look for somebody who's not making any type of noise. Maybe they're not talking. Maybe they have poor eye contact. a child who's very irritable. They cry a lot. You can have colic with almost any child, but just a child who is always crying, a child who is always irritable, a child who doesn't maybe walk until well after 1 year old. 1 year old. And I know that, when they're that young, the parents will refer to them as 14 months or 15 months.
Like 12 months is very different than 18 months. That's like a whole different human at that point.
It is. Yeah. It really is. I know Jackie will attest to that.
With her 2 babies right here.
2 babies, yeah. You want to look for a delay in the milestones, and you can catch it at that age, and it is helpful because a lot of people, I mean, as you know, wait until they're 20, 30, 40, 50 to get an autism diagnosis. So having parents who are on the lookout for it as young as 18 months is very helpful. That's the optimal time to be looking at your child if you think that they're autistic. Because on average, if they don't get diagnosed before 5, 6, they may have to wait decades.
And it might change how you're approaching your parenting style as well.
No, that's why the early diagnosis is so key, because if you know that your child's on the spectrum, then your child crying all the time, you won't take it as if the child is just, being greedy and they want more food, or the child is crying for some reason. The child's on the spectrum. So you realize that the child is struggling to communicate with you. And because we have this difficulty with communication, we're going to have more mood disturbances. So whenever you're getting more irritable and, aggression goes up, your ability to communicate goes down. And vice versa. So knowing that a child is on the spectrum, it can change their life. Because with ADHD, you can't diagnose that young. You have to wait till 5, 6. But with autism, you can diagnose way earlier, around 2 years old. So if you feel like your child has some of the signs, or you feel like your child is behind on their milestones, I think that an evaluation, you will change the child's life.
I think it's very
if you're
beneficial.
Looking to see if they have a diagnosis at that age.
I just think back to when I was younger and the kind of signs that were there, and obviously autism was not talked about the way that it is today. Autism and ADHD were not talked about the way that it is today. And there were definitely signs growing up. And it would be interesting if my parents knew me being so young and like fighting them on certain things. Like I never wanted to wear a jacket or a hat or like, like little things like that. I would cry and cry and cry if I had to wear a jacket. It'd be 30 degrees outside in Ohio where I grew up. I did not want to wear a jacket. And that still is kind of true to this day. But, it would
luckily you're in LA.
Right, luckily I'm in LA now, so it's okay. But, it would be very interesting to see if my parents would have approached their parenting style differently if they knew that at least one of their daughters was on the spectrum. But we think it's both. Shout out to Katie.
Shout out to your sister.
Shout out to my sister. But yeah. Super important. But also, and this goes without saying, there's nothing wrong with your child. If they have autism, if they have ADHD that's diagnosed later in life, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just they're built differently. And it's so incredible. Some people with autism, the things that they can do with their minds, they might not be the best at communicating with people, but they can tell you every president that's ever been in office and like the day that they were born, and it's like the most insane. They always have like one thing, it's like trains or dinosaurs, it's like they know everything about it. So it's incredible. So do not feel bad if your son is eventually diagnosed with autism. It's some of the most beautiful people on this planet.
And also your autistic child is better than you think. When it comes to adapting, because they just adapt in different ways. So because they communicate and experience the world differently, they'll find different ways to adapt. And it might not be the way that you expect it, but they'll have a workaround. So if you don't like jackets, you'll find something. You'll just put on 2 or 3 shirts, or you'll find a way to adapt. And last thing I'll say before we end the podcast, I remember growing up, we couldn't afford the current version of certain video games. So it would be 2013, but I'd be playing MLB 06 the show because I couldn't afford the current version. So what I would do is I would stay up for 2 or 3 nights and I would update all the rosters.
Yeah.
Because I knew all the different players. So I would update all the rosters, at least for the Braves.
Yeah.
That was my team growing up. So I would adjust all the rosters and then I would play with my friends. And we have a realistic roster for 2013. And they'd be like, yo, this is MLB 06 the show.
Yeah.
But that was my hyperfixation. I found a way to adapt.
Yeah.
So if you leave kids to it, most times they will adapt whether they're neurodivergent or not. So
Absolutely.
you just have a different child if they're on the spectrum, and they'll find ways to adapt and they'll find ways to, handle things.
Damn straight.
Yeah. So that's it for this episode. For those of y'all watching at home, leave your questions, your comments, and we'll look to pick out a couple and answer at the end of every podcast.